Okay, what is going on, ladies, gentlemen, dogs, cats, small furry animals, horses, aliens, robots, and an autonomous AI? Welcome, everyone, to today's gameplay stream. How are you doing? Well, for many of us, the answer is shitty. Because of all the stuff that's going on, the political climate, and everything in the United States of America. Many of us are bummed out today, and, that's okay. Real briefly, I'll touch upon that, but I won't go too crazy into it. I am Phil. Phil I am. Welcome, everyone. How are you? Today is Thursday. Wow. Today is Belch Day. Happy Belch Day, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, if you can, let out a big, rip-roaring, hearty belch out of the deepest guttural part of your stomachs and esophaguses. And welcome to my gameplay stream. I am Darkside Phil. Today's gameplay stream was in your hands, folks. We had two interesting choices for you today. You might say, well, what were these choices? What's going on? Well, the choices were between either me continuing with another rip-roaring session of the hottest game to be half-released on a console in a pretty much non-functional manner, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I played all day long yesterday, and stream attendance was incredibly high. People really seemed to enjoy me play this broken-ass game. In fact, my second game ever of the game, literally the only time I'd ever played it, the second session, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, I was playing it stealthy, just trying to avoid detection the entire time. Literally didn't fire a bullet. I won the game. And my clip, someone clipped it, my victory, here on Twitch, has garnered over 24,000 views and is either the second or third largest clip regarding, a second or third largest clip regarding this game on Twitch. Which is hilarious because there are streamers much bigger than me who have been playing this game, and my clip is much bigger than theirs, which is absolutely hilarious. Okay. Now, the other option today was Okami HD, the HD remastering for modern consoles of a Capcom action-adventure RPG-style game from years and years ago that was a hit on PlayStation 2, and it then was remade for PS3, and then now has been remade for modern consoles. I've never played this game. I never actually played it at all. And therefore, I really don't even know too much about it. Some people have told me, you may not realize that it's an incredibly long game like Zelda, and it could take upwards of 40 hours to beat if you do all the content. To which I was like, holy shit, I had no idea that was what I was getting into with this game. I'd never played it. I don't even know if I'm going to like it. But a viewer of mine actually donated it. They said that they wanted to see me play it so much that they would consider donating it, and then they actually did. So last night, I actually did have the game donated. I want to say thank you to that viewer, although they wish to remain anonymous. So thank you to that viewer. So I left today's poll in the hands of you guys overnight. This was one of the closest voted polls I've ever done on social media, folks. It was down to, it was 50-50. Overnight, the poll constantly shifted back and forth, back and forth. Okay? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Crazy. Okay? Absolutely crazy. And that being said, I didn't know what I was playing today. I had no idea until literally it was like 15 minutes before the poll was going to close. And I tweeted the poll again, and I said, guys, last chance to vote. And then a big sweeping amount of votes came in. And literally, I think it was by 10 to 15 votes. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds won. And so that's what we're playing today. Okay, another 4-hour or so gameplay session of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the stream. Will we get big attendance? Will we get a lot of people participating like we did yesterday? I have no idea. But I figured, you know what, it makes sense. The game just released. It still has a little bit of hype behind it. Let's get one more good session in before I say, okay, that's enough. I've now experienced enough of this game to know exactly what it is, and I don't need to play it anymore, okay? And not to say that I'll never play it again. As I've mentioned, what I'm thinking of doing is this will be a game that is now included in my multiplayer madness once-a-week sessions that happened on the weekends. So what I will do is consider playing this as a multiplayer game on the one day a week that I only play multiplayer games. So, for example, this coming Saturday, what I may do is hold a poll. And that poll will be, gee, what do you want to see on Saturday streams? Do you want to see either Call of Duty World War II or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds paired with Star Wars Battlefront 2? And the reason I say that is Star Wars Battlefront 2 has new content this weekend. It actually is a new hero has been released, a new villain has been released, and I believe there's actually either a new map or some kind of new content was released this week for the game. So definitely I want to play Battlefront 2 this weekend to check out the new content, okay? Plus, let's face it, every time I play that game, I do pretty good, and it ends up being a pretty good session. So I'm going to put that again in your hands this weekend. Probably Friday night, I'll be putting up a poll on Twitter. Do you want to see more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or more Call of Duty? And you will decide that, all right? You will decide one of those streams for Saturday. Sound good? So anyway, today we're going to be doing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Final major session of it. No second stream tonight because today is the day when I have to go run my errands. Now, typically this would have been a Wednesday night, but this week being that I had just come back from break, I decided that I would do a full day of streaming yesterday, and today would be the day that I run my errands. In fact, I'm not even kidding, I have no, like, food for meals in the house. I can make, like, a sandwich, a lunch meat sandwich, and that's about it. I don't have any food that I can cook, or, like, no veggies for a salad, nothing. And I don't want to go out eating fast food every day. I was existing on leftovers from my time off. I'd gone out to eat a couple times with my girlfriend, and I had a few leftovers that I've been eating all week, and I finally ate them all. As of last night, I had a box of pizza that I finished. I was like, well, I guess I got to go shopping now. So I'll be doing that tonight. Amongst other things, I got bills to pay. I got a bunch of other stuff to do tonight. So no second stream tonight, but tomorrow, folks, a whole day of new content for you. Tomorrow will be the premiere of my Okami HD playthrough, so even though it didn't happen today, it will premiere tomorrow. And together we'll see what this game is like. We'll see if I like it. I have no idea if it runs at 30 or 60 frames per second on modern consoles, so I guess I'm going to have to see firsthand. And go from there, right? So yeah, so that's going to be tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, something else completely different. I'm going to be playing the Fighting X Lair beta tomorrow night. If you're not aware, Fighting X Lair is a game made by a company called Eureka. Now, back in the 1990s and early 2000s, Eureka actually got a license to make a fighting game series with the Street Fighter characters. That's right. It was called Street Fighter EX. And then they also made EX2, EX2 plus Alpha, EX3, EX3 plus, all these different versions. And it had characters like Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Zangief, Blanca. But it also had characters that were designed by this company, Eureka, original characters. And a lot of those characters were very similar to Street Fighter characters. In fact, they actually had characters that were kind of like Shoto clones of Ryu and Ken. Well, folks, all of a sudden, here we are. I'm not even lying. This is probably about over 15 years later. Eureka is back, and they're making their own fighting game. And it's hilarious because some of the characters in it are the same characters that were the ripoffs of Shotos and stuff. So in a way, it's going to be their own take on Street Fighter, okay? So the beta is out. It came out this week. And you may not be aware, because the thing is, the thing literally got no coverage. Like, no one actually covered this. Like, it wasn't like it was a major deal. Sony hasn't pushed it or anything. So no one is really aware about this beta. And I'm very interested in checking it out. So I guess we'll see. Let's see what happens with me, checking this out on Friday night. I'm going to play it for about 2 hours. There's 6 characters to try out. So I'll probably take 1 or 2 characters into training mode, mess with them, and then jump online and see what I can do online, gameplay-wise, with them. It's called Fighting X Lair. For those who aren't aware, that's the name of it. And the beta is available on PlayStation Network on PS4 right now. So that'll be Friday night. Then Saturday, as I mentioned, will be a multiplayer day where it's going to be Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my first stream, and then my second stream will either be Call of Duty World War II or more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and you'll determine that via a vote Friday night on social media, okay? Sunday, more than likely, I'll return to Okami, all right? And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are kind of up in the air. I'm leaving them open saying, oh, gee, it could be Okami. It could be me checking out the Finding EX Lair beta again. It could be something different. Maybe I'll do, maybe I'll check out LA Noire. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do this week because I have a few days before I start my holiday content. But then my holiday content is going to start on Thursday with a holiday edition of Ask the King. And then either Friday or Saturday, is going to be my holiday gaming marathon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not aware, yes, either Friday or Saturday of next week will be the 7+ hour marathon where I dress up in 2 different ugly holiday sweaters and or other apparel. I'll be drinking. I'll be playing holiday-themed games that you guys have nominated. In fact, FYI, folks, if you're not aware, it's your last chance, your absolutely last chance to get in on this, all right? You have to nominate games. If you were a patron in the month of November, you have to nominate holiday-themed video games by this weekend because it will actually be Sunday this week that I'll be setting up the poll, and then from Sunday through Thursday, patrons will be voting on which holiday-themed games I'll be playing on this marathon on Friday, all right? Yes, it's going to be exciting. So FYI, I am making this official. Friday the 22nd will be my holiday gaming marathon, okay? Friday, December 22nd, 1 week from tomorrow, will be my holiday gaming marathon, okay? Which then means that it'll be perfect because then the 23rd can be a multiplayer session for me, a fun multiplayer session, right? My weekly multiplayer madness. And then Christmas Eve, maybe then I'll do holiday sims. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I want to play it by ear at this point. But, yeah, it's going to be basically several days of holiday content going boom, 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 boom. I'll have more information on that coming for you guys this weekend. This weekend, I'll solidify it when I make my weekend preview video and all of that. But I really am looking forward to it because I love doing holiday-themed stuff. And the past few years, honestly, I haven't had an opportunity to do much. This year, I'm going all out, all right? Absolutely all out. And I hope that you guys will join me if and when you at all you can during the next couple of weeks for the holiday-themed stuff. And then keep in mind, I'm going to begin work on my year-end videos, my Game of the Year awards, and my worst Games of the Year countdowns, both of which I am going to premiere those videos here live on stream first before people can see them on YouTube. How cool is that you guys are going to get to see all that shit first, right? Pretty nice. All right, folks. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the deal with what you can expect in the next couple of weeks, all right? There you go. Hope you're excited for that. Really quick, let's touch upon the big news this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, in the United States of America, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, has voted in 3-2, so 3 against, 2 opposing, to repeal net neutrality protections that were instituted in 2015, all right? Now, ultimately, you've heard a lot about this in the past several months. People talking about this and leading up to this and what does it mean and whatever. Well, I already had a giant segment on this in my last episode of Hate Live, so I'm not going to go into it majorly here. If you want to know my feelings on the subject and or a full explanation of what could possibly happen now that it's been repealed, check out my last edition of my Hate Live podcast, which is over on my The King of Hate Vlogs channel on YouTube, okay? I talked about it for over a half hour, so I'm not going to go into detail about it now. However, what I will say is this. There is potential that things could massively change on the internet. There's potential that internet service providers could now start to nickel and dime us for our internet use, okay? Potential. Let me reiterate that. It's only potential. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen. It just means it could happen. It's now legal for it to happen, okay? For me, is it going to affect my personal internet usage? No, because I actually have a contract with my internet service provider for business class internet that already cannot be altered. You can't alter a contract once you've signed it. And I have a contract signed that says I pay this amount of money for this amount of unlimited internet use, and that's it. So they can't. They actually cannot, for me, say, oh, well, we noticed you use Twitter. We're going to charge you $5 extra. Oh, you use YouTube. Here's $10 extra. They can't do that to me. I have business class internet. I'm already paying the most expensive amount of internet that's possible for Comcast, and I'm locked into a contract. They can't fuck with me. All right? But what that means is that for everyone else, all right, everyone else who isn't on a locked-in style internet contract like I am, you guys may be negatively affected. In particular, if you live in the United States of America, yeah, all of your internet service providers have the potential to start nickel and diming you for the internet. Okay, they just do. They have the potential. They could block websites. For example, they could say, oh, well, you know, if you have Verizon internet, well, Verizon has a stake in this news company, but not this one. So we've decided to limit or block your access to this news company or this news company's website, and you should use this one instead. They could do that. Okay, but they can't. They're not definitely going to do it. Nor, you know, of course, all these ISPs have come out and said we won't do that, right? But it remains to be seen what actually happens. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. That's the bottom line. That's why everyone was so afraid of losing their net neutrality protections. All right. And it's funny because I've heard this really bad piece of information. Okay. So if you're not aware, people have been saying, well, before 2015, there were no net neutrality protections. All right. And therefore, there were no net neutrality protections. And, you know, how on earth do you think that the internet existed before 2015? It was so terrible, right? The internet before 2015 was so bad. We had so many nickel and diming internet companies. So people, basically, the line of argument is we had no net neutrality protections before 2015 in the United States. So people don't know what they're talking about because the internet didn't suck before then. However, what these idiots don't realize is that there were legal protections in place before 2015. They just weren't put into place by any regulatory body. What it was that there had been a bunch of series of mergers between companies like Comcast and other ISPs, and there were legal rulings stating that certain internet companies, including Time Warner and Comcast, could not nickel and dime the customer for internet usage for a limited period of time. Guess what? For Comcast, those protections expire in 2018. So yeah, the internet existed fine before 2015, but there were legal rulings that had put us in a situation where we were protected before then. So no, there was no nickel and diming yet because we were already protected. Now those protections are running out, and the net neutrality protections that the FCC had put into place to protect us from nickel and diming in the future also have been repealed. So now there's nothing to stop them, basically. Okay? Now here's the deal. It's not the end of everything, all right? It's not. This process, this ruling by the FCC, has to go through several different processes, including it has to go through our United States Congress, which has to vote on it and approve it. Right now, our Congress is very tumultuous, even though there's a very, very narrow lead by Republicans. Like, there's more Republicans than Democrats in our Congress. There have been a few Republicans that have been flip-flopping on issues, and there were a few Republicans who did not like this idea of net neutrality being repealed. So there may be a chance that this still doesn't even go through. It's not the end yet, folks. It's not. At the same time, I want people to understand it's not the end of the world. It's not. Even though there's a ridiculous amount of people acting like it is, it's not. And there's always potential that when another administration gets voted in, which very likely will be happening shortly with all the negativity that's been thrown towards Republicans recently in the last year since Trump became president, it's very likely you're going to see a lot of Republicans getting voted out of office. And all the shit may be just totally fucking changed again anyway in another year or two. So people really tend to freak out, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world, okay? It doesn't. So that's really all I have to say on the subject. Does it suck that this happened? Absolutely, but it's not the end. And we'll see what happens, right? Obviously, everyone's going to be following this story, playing it by ear and seeing what happens with ISPs and seeing what happens with everybody, okay? All right, let's see what happens. All right, everybody. So enough about net neutrality. Enough about politics this morning. I don't really want to talk about it. You may have also heard that Disney is about to buy out Fox, and this is correct. Apparently, Disney is going to buy a lot of Fox assets, and now everyone's abuzz about what's going to happen when all of Marvel is owned by one company. What's going to happen when, you know, shows like Family Guy, right, irreverent, adult-oriented shows are now owned by Disney. What's going to happen? I don't know. And honestly, is it big news? Yes. Absolutely. But I think that every once in a while we got to kind of pull our heads out of our asses. Because is it a big news? Yes, it is for entertainment. But at the same time, folks, I think it is more important to look at other bigger picture issues. Like, seriously, more people right now are so concerned with who's dying on The Walking Dead and, you know, what's happening in The Last Jedi than net neutrality. And that's sad that we have our heads so far up our asses in the world of entertainment that we don't focus on real life important issues. It is what it is. I guess that's what it is. You know, we all like to be big babies. I almost said big adults. We all like to be big babies. And yes, listen, I'm one of them. My whole job is based around gaming and entertainment, right? But I do take the time out to talk about important issues. Like I said, I had a whole half-an-hour segment on my podcast last month about net neutrality. Yesterday, I posted up about net neutrality on Twitter. You know, every once in a while, I feel I have a public responsibility to use my public persona to try to spread important information about stuff. So I do what I can, folks. You know, I do what I can. And it is what it is. You know, I hope that at least my gameplay streams help to take you away from the seriousness of the shit that goes on in the real world. At the same time, I hope you still do realize there is a real world that we should be focusing on. And that, you know, oh my God, so-and-so, this happened in The Last Jedi, and that's all I talk about for fucking 4 months. It's like, okay then. So anyway, folks, I'm just saying. So there you go. Enough about all that crap. Let's start talking about my stuff, and then let's get to the gameplay. Sound good? All right. Well, folks, some good news, some recent good news. Thank God there's some recent good news. Patreon has decided to go back on their decision to institute all kinds of new fees and everything to people who pledge to people on Patreon, which is good because there was a major negative backlash last week about this. The whole thing got completely overturned, which is a great, you know, thing. So, folks, my Patreon goal for the month of December, in my opinion, the best goal I've ever set up, a redemption run of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, all right? Or both, depending on how much people pledge, is a go. Today's the 14th, which means there's still over 2 weeks left to pledge to my Patreon by the end of the month. Right now, in particular, folks, I really need your support. I'm trying to raise funds to pay a giant amount of back taxes that I'm going to be owed and have to be paid by the end of January because of a tax lawyer's mistake. And it was not my fault. I was paying this tax lawyer to do a fucking job and paying him thousands of dollars a year, and he fucked up. So now I have to get out of this situation because outside of raising the funds by the end of January via means like this, I have no other way to pay them besides losing my house. And I don't want to lose my house. I want to stay here. I want to continue to make fun content for you daily, these fun live streams. I want to have a future, you know, potential to possibly one day maybe have a life with my existing girlfriend and all that. And I don't want to deal with this fucking negative bullshit ruining my life when I have nothing to do with it and I didn't fuck up. It was this idiot, okay? So all that being said, if you like what I do here daily and you want to see this stuff continue, please pledge to my Patreon this month. Not only are you pledging towards a goal where if we hit the goal, you'll be voting on if I do a redemption run of Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3, depending on your personal tastes, all right? These were runs that I did years ago during the HD collection of Metal Gear Solid that was released on PS3. I didn't take them seriously. I didn't know anything about the Metal Gear franchise at the time. I flubbed my way through them. I did absolutely awful. I made fun of Kojima. It was basically a laughingstock, which was the point, but people took it the wrong way. Took it as me making fun of the Metal Gear series. It blew up into massive amounts of negativity about me on the internet. And there's still people to this day who are so fucking butthurt about my runs through these games that they still stalk me and try at every moment to hurt me as much as they possibly fucking can while remaining anonymous pussies on the internet. So all that being said, I would love to do redemption runs through these games and prove that I have the ability to actually play them legitimately, to pay attention to the tutorials and the controls, to actually try to do well. And people have been asking for this for a year, ever since I did my Dark Souls redemption run a year ago. So, please, folks, consider, all right? Please consider pledging to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. Now, there's a stretch goal this month as well. If we reach the stretch goal this month, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be playing both games in January. How cool would that be? That on January 1st, boom, I start my run through Metal Gear Solid 2. No reason to have to set up polls or anything like that. I just start immediately. And then right after that's done, boom, Metal Gear Solid 3. That would be an amazing month. Seriously, like the first 2 weeks of January or longer that it would take me to go through those games would be amazing. You have people on stream every single day going nuts. It would be probably some of the best stuff I've ever done. And I really want to do it, but I need your help. I need to raise funds to pay these taxes, folks. So please pledge to my Patreon. If you support me, you want to see this continue, if at all you ever wanted to help, now is the time. Please pledge by the end of the month. Thank you. All right, folks. Now, obviously, you know I have a Teespring store. Give it a look. Thanks to everyone who's ever designed stuff for me there and anyone who's ever bought stuff from there. I get a pretty sizable commission from anything that you buy from Teespring, and I appreciate your support. Last but not least, folks, if you are here live on the stream and you're watching me play games today, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, right? And you like what I'm doing. You say, gee, I'd like to help fill out. You could either you could either cheer with bits, you can subscribe to the channel, and you could tip me. And any of those things that you do, I will give you a verbal shout out during the course of the stream. Okay? If you cheer 50 bits or more, if you tip me $2 or more, or if you subscribe to the channel and click the share button after you subscribe, you'll actually get a pop-up visual notification as well, thanking you for your contributions, okay? So, special thanks to everyone who does that. I really do appreciate it, all right? Now, a few things to say about that. Number one, if you are going to cheer today or on any stream to the end of the month, please, folks, use the hashtag charity in your cheer. Already I see a bunch of people cheered this morning, did not use the hashtag charity. If you include the hashtag charity, Twitch is going to be donating, all right? So please, use hashtag charity in your cheers. For every 1,000 bits or whatever, we're going to be raising funds for charity. I'm trying to get everyone to do this month, all right? Number two, if you are not a current subscriber to my channel and you subscribe, you will receive a 20% discount. This is going till the end of the month. It's not just my channel, it's everyone's channel. If you're not an ongoing subscriber of a channel and you subscribe, 20% off a new sub. And if you're in a giving mood, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in a giving mood, and you would like to see someone else get a sub to a channel, obviously, you know, regarding mine, you want to gift a sub to someone. Gifted subs are currently 20% off. I almost said half price. They're not. 20% off. So gifted subs are also 20% off for the rest of the month. All right. So pretty cool discount on subscriptions until the end of December for the holiday season. Pretty cool, right? All right. Now, last but not least, folks, if you are wondering, gee, what can I do to really help Phil the most right now? Because there's so many options Phil just mentioned. I could cheer with bits. I could subscribe to the channel. I could tip him. I could pledge on Patreon. I could do Teespring. What would help Phil the most? The honest answer, folks, 2 things. Number 1, pledging on Patreon. Making those goals happen. All right, that's huge. And then number 2, tips. And you might say, well, how do I tip? What's the process? If you're watching my live stream right now on the channel and you look below the live stream, there's a section, a grid, that has all kinds of information. Links to my website, links to my YouTube channels. There's a section there that says tips. It's a picture of me posing with Pokemon. And if you click on it, it'll take you to my tips page where you can either do an anonymous tip or you can leave your name in a message. All right. Anything that you tip me, I get right away, like immediately. All right. Right away. I get those funds. That's going to help me directly with my taxes coming up, all right? So please, folks, consider tipping and or pledging to my Patreon. Those are the 2 major ways that you can help me out right now until I'm out of this tax situation. Yes, I am going to continuously mention this on pre-streams every day because I need to, because it helps me out and I need to get out of this situation. There's no other way out for me besides selling my house. I don't want to do that, okay? So please consider, tipping and or Patreon. I am very appreciative, by the way, of anyone who cheers or subs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth, and I'm not unappreciative. But I don't get anything for those for 2 months. Those take 2 months to process, if you can believe it, okay? So that being said, please consider the other methods if possible, all right? Okay. All right, it's time for some shout-outs. Let's go down here, scroll down. All the way down. Actually, I forgot to hit refresh. Let me hit refresh. Because there were some people who did stuff overnight as well, and I want to give them credit. So, overnight, We had Infinite55 who did a 50-bit cheer. Thank you, Infinite55. We had Critical for Days who did a 10-bit cheer, then another 10-bit cheer, then another 10-bit cheer, then a 20-bit cheer, asking, what do I like about my girlfriend? Well, I could go through the entire laundry list of things, but obviously number 1 would be her attractiveness. Number 2 would be her kindness and the way that she treats me, which is really nice, which I'm not used to. Let's put it that way. Amongst many other things. She's intelligent. She's a gamer like me. A lot of things. All right? So I'm not going to go into a laundry list, but she's a nice person. Let's put it that way. Okay? Number 2. Or actually, let's keep going here. Critical for Days did another 30-bit cheer. He says, when you were in high school, did you ever think about joining the military? I hope this stream will be positive. Yes, I did. However, I'm not going to get into a long story about it. I was looking to possibly at one point join the military. But basically, the recruitment officer who I dealt with was such a cocky prick. He completely turned me off. Like, he wanted me to join the military so badly. And he was like, I know you're going to come back and you're going to join. And after he said that, I was like, you know what? Just because this guy's so fucking cocky, he's completely turned me off from doing it. And then I didn't. So, it is what it is. Oh, well. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes just one cocky asshole can completely turn you off from a life-changing decision. What can I say? Critical for Days did another 10-bit cheer. Says the FCC just voted to repeal net neutrality. God help us all. I think we've talked enough about that. Shout out to Sue. Oh, my goodness. Supyeldarb? I can't pronounce the name, but thank you for the sub. Subscribed overnight, and I cannot pronounce your name, but thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Critical for Days did another 22-bit cheer and said, weren't you creating or didn't you want to create a channel called DSP Politics at some point? I was considering it. I actually was considering it. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, since with all the political stuff going on in the past year, it was actually late last year I was considering this. I said, what would happen if I made a channel on YouTube just to discuss politics, right? And I have the thing is, I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. At times, I have views on either side of the spectrum, depending on what's going on. And I think that having an independent view like that is actually refreshing, because 9 times out of 10, when you look on the internet, you see something that's either ultra polarizing right or ultra polarizing left. It's hard to get like a balanced opinion on most stuff political, for various reasons. So I was debating doing this, but a lot of people talked me out of it. They were like, Phil, you have to understand that politics are very divisive, and if you come out for and against certain political agendas or whatever, you're going to have people who literally cannot separate your gameplay and your daily live streams and your videos on YouTube that have nothing to do with politics from your political stances. And there's going to be people that are going to be so turned off by you by not really mixing the two, because I wouldn't be mixing the two, but the fact that you have something political on the internet, that it's going to hurt you ultimately. And you know what? I listened to that advice. I said, all right, for now, let's hold off. Okay. And then look what happened in 2017, right? A lot of political style videos and channels got demonetized on YouTube. YouTube said, oh, politics is not advertiser friendly. Much like they said that my game reviews apparently weren't advertiser friendly, even though everything on KO Gaming absolutely was advertiser friendly. So I'm honestly glad that I did not invest a bunch of time and money into the political spectrum of doing a political channel. Because can you imagine if I did and it took off, and then all of a sudden I went from actually, you know, having a good following and making money to basically doing nothing because YouTube's a bunch of fucking retards? So guess what? I'm not going to do, I'm not. At this point, I have no aspirations to be a person who stands on a soapbox and talks about politics all the time. If I feel I need to bring something up like net neutrality every once in a while, I will, but you're not going to hear me being Mr. Political all the time. Bottom line is, I'm a gamer. I'm here to share my fun gameplay experiences with you guys and be honest with you about games, and that's it. That's what you really come out to see. You don't come out to hear me fucking lecture you on certain things. So, there you have it. Alrighty then. Shout out to the Broken Legs, who did a 10-bit cheer and says, if I move back to Connecticut, well, first of all, I don't want to move back to Connecticut. And I hate people who ask me these fucking hypothetical questions about moving back to Connecticut. Guys, you need to understand something. It's the worst case scenario. If I move back to Connecticut, I'm back in the horrendous weather that's going to be terrible for my back. I'm back to the shitty internet that constantly went out and could not be fixed or improved by my cable company. I'm back to high taxes I'm back to a terrible recording setup where everything echoes. I'm basically back to 5+ years ago when things were not so good. I don't want to go back there. Things have become way better for me in my life and my business, and everything here, right, has improved. So I don't even appreciate people asking me hypothetical questions about moving back to Connecticut. I don't want to do it. That's absolute worst case scenario. So, again, please don't. And then this guy goes out to ask about John Rambo and Howard. Guys, all right, I'm going to say this loud and clear. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Move on from the past. All right? I have. You need to. Things are never going to go back to how they were. All right? The things that have happened, the choices that have been made by others in regards to me and people's attitudes toward me cannot be controlled by me. All right? Stop it. And I mean that. Stop it. You guys are living in the past. You guys think that magically, somehow I'm going to move back to Connecticut and everything's going to magically go back to how it was and people are going to come over to do co-op all the time. It's not. Guys, it's over. All right? It's absolutely over, folks. That's what you need to realize. You're wasting your time with these kind of silly notions of dwelling on the past. I've moved on. I realize that things have happened in the past and things change, right? And they're never going to be the same. Stop having these ridiculous hangover, feelings about, things are magically going to go back in time 5 years and be better. They're not. We live in 2017. We're about to be in 2018. The world's a very different place now than it was 5-6 years ago. And you can either accept that, right? Or you can be this depressed person crying in your basement about how you used to like the past. I mean, I could do that too. Listen, I could go cry about the years when I was making tons of money on YouTube and I was white hot popular and one of the top gamers on YouTube and I had all these people who wanted to come out and do co-op stuff with me. It's not the case anymore, all right? It's just not. You just need to realize this, guys, all right? Seriously. You need to wake up. All right? Thank you. Stop asking ridiculous questions. There you go. All right. Amos Bro did a 155-bit cheer. He says, here's hoping for another entertaining stream, even if it's just poking fun at how dull this game can be. All right. That Anana Raccoon did a 10-bit cheer. He says, buy yourself something pretty. And he also did another 10-bit cheer. He says, Disney now owns Spider-Man. Kevin tipped me $1. He says, I noticed that you did political tweets this morning, but didn't you not vote? Maybe this stuff today will motivate you for next time. I did not vote on the presidential election because I did not feel that either of the major candidates were good candidates. I did not like Hillary Clinton nor Donald Trump. I thought they were both terrible candidates for the presidency. That does not mean that I have not voted on other things, and it does not mean that I have not contacted congressmen, senators, etc. on issues. It just means that for that one thing, I had no interest in voting because I didn't want either major candidate. There you go. Tanamounder did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Tanamounder, for the cheer. Astro Jetboy did a 10-bit cheer. Says, have you heard about the Battlefront 2 DLC with Aged Aiden? And if yes, are you planning on playing it? If you don't know what he's talking about, there's a free DLC continuing the story of Battlefront 2. Will I be doing it? I don't know. I'm definitely interested in playing more multiplayer. I don't know if I'm going to go back and play more story. Guess what? That story should have been in the fucking game at launch. Now, it's free, which is good, but it's kind of a cheap incentive to get people to go back and play the game single player when, honestly, I have no real desire to do so. So, I don't know. We'll see. Iconic Christian did a 100-bit cheer. He says, what is your opinion on net neutrality and will it affect you? I already covered that. Critical for Days did a 30-bit cheer. He says, can you give suggestions on the best goal? I don't know what you're talking about. Ornites did a 10-bit cheer. He says, were you an artistic person growing up? Did you used to draw? Yes. In fact, I drew my own comic books. When I was a kid, I used to draw my own Super Mario Brothers stages. Like, I would design an actual stage, side-scrolling 8-bit stage from start to finish. Then I started drawing comic books. I had a Double Dragon comic book that I drew. And it looked like shit. Because I was a kid. I wasn't great at it. But it was pretty, interesting. I was so into comics, I wanted to be into artistic stuff. And then later on, I started drawing, and I was able to, like, copy artistic styles and stuff. Sadly, it just kind of fell out. Like, I would say probably when I hit high school, I stopped drawing, and I really never got back into it, so. And then I had a troll cheer from an idiot. I'll ignore that. Alexander Rossi did a 10-bit cheer. He said, Hover on the Revolution is having a free weekend on Steam this weekend. You going to play it? No. You must be out of your fucking mind. Raisin Bread is Tasty did a 10-bit cheer. He says, are we be playing the Fighting EX Lair beta? Yes, I already mentioned I'm going to. Brits94 did a 50-bit cheer. He said, what's charity? Well, Maybe you should do a little bit of research and figure it out. Roll Tide did a 10-bit cheer. He says, you want to avoid politics, but that's kind of hard in 2017 given the kind of people that are running to control it. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about politics. But when you have things that are so important that could change the face of everything, like the internet and everything, it's kind of hard to avoid mentioning it from time to time, you know? It just makes it tough. Casey Tron is live at 100-bit cheer and says, testing something. Well, thank you for the cheer, and I hope the test was successful. Then Casey Tron is live at another 100-bit cheer and said, the net neutrality has broken my bits. Oh, great. King of Hypocrisy did a 10-bit cheer. He says, will you try the new Devour TV dinners? No. Chicken Dinner 91 did a 10-bit cheer. Says, you should play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in a squad today. It will make you enjoy the game more. Maybe I will. However, you have to understand, I can't do voice chat at all. I don't have any headset that works voice chat-wise for Xbox One, so I'd be the silent partner, and I don't know how I would help my team. But maybe I will. Maybe let's try squads today and see how it goes, just for the hell of it. Shout out to Sedella, who did a 50-bit cheer, and says, can't believe it's almost 2018. Time is really flying by. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Once again, folks, I would say, please remember to use the hashtag charity in your cheers. A lot of people are not doing it. If you do it, Twitch will donate. So please do so. Oh my goodness. Did a 10-bit cheer. Said, didn't you permanently ban King of Hypocrisy like 5 times? Why do you keep letting him back in here? I have not permanently banned him. I've temporarily banned him a few times. And he seems to kind of behave, although he does do some trollish cheers from time to time. If and when he continuously pisses everyone off, I will permanently ban him. But I think he knows where he stands, okay? Brits94 did another 50-bit cheer. He said, would Rambo take you back if you apologize? This is the most ridiculous cheer I've ever read. What are you talking about? First of all, I want to make this clear. I was the person trying to talk to Rambo and Howard. It wasn't the other way around where they wanted to talk to me and I was ignoring them or anything like that. I was actively trying to keep our friendship going. They ignored me for the greater part of a year. Then out of nowhere made a video for the first time ever revealing that apparently they had all this pent-up aggression and all these things that they had wrong, that they laundry list of stuff that I'd done wrong to them that they had never revealed to me. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. I don't care, you know, what friendship you have with someone. If you don't reveal that someone's doing something wrong and or you're being hurt by something or something that someone's doing, you have no right to complain. You have to bring it up. You can't just have it be pent up inside of you, all right? And it was hilarious. The best part about that video is at the end, oh, the lines are open. The phone lines are open. Phil can call us at any time. I did, stupid. I texted the shit out of them. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I had been contacting them for a year. They ignored me. Then in that video, they acted like I never tried to reach out to them. All right? It's bullshit. What that video was their efforts to show that they wanted nothing to do with me. They want absolutely nothing to do with me. They don't want to be my friend. They don't want to have anything to do with my online content. Nothing. They just wanted to sever their tie with me, period. That's what the point of that video was. Because the bottom line is if they actually did care about continuing with a friendship, they would have spoken to me. They would have responded to my multiple dozens of attempts to talk to them about stuff. But they didn't. So that proved that they just didn't care. All right? There were no open phone lines. It's so stupid. So I texted you a ton of times and you don't respond. I should have called you and that would have fixed everything. No, they were going to ignore me no matter what. So, no, there's no apologizing so that someone can forget. It's bullshit. All right? The point the video made 2 years ago was that they don't want anything to do with me anymore. They wanted to move on with their own personal lives. More than likely, they had been so negatively affected by being a part of my content. And for that 2 years, you know, or a year and a half since I had moved, they've probably been constantly bombarded. Why aren't you in Phil's videos? What happened with you and Phil? Why don't you talk to Phil? We want to see on Smart Guys. We want to see in gameplay. What's going on? They probably got so fed up with it that they felt that they were at their wits' end, and this was the only way that they could basically end the thing and basically definitively say, we're done, stop bothering us, was to make this kind of video, a negative video about me. All right? I kind of get it. And that's why, you know, you don't hear me constantly talking about it or harping on it. I'm not going to insult them because the bottom line is, if anything, Howard and John were two people who were always nice to me, right? They always did great things. You know, they came over, they did co-op, they worked on projects with me. You know, they were good. First of all, they were good, you know, associates when it came to making video content, but they were also good friends for the time that we had that friendship established. And then when I moved across the country, I guess they felt that established friendship had ended. All right? And that was it. There's nothing else to talk about here with John, Rambo, or Howard. And again, I'm going to say it. All you people who keep bringing it up, you're wasting your time. You're living in the past. You need to move on. It's about to be 2018. All right? It's about to be 2018. All right? It's time to move on from this stuff in the past. All right? If anyone ever wanted to continue a friendship, it would have to be on their behalf because they were the ones who publicly basically stated, listen, we have all these problems with Phil. Okay. So if they forgave that, they would contact me and say, okay, Phil, you know, time's passed. We want to be friends again. You know, water under the bridge. I wasn't the one who had issue. I wasn't the one who didn't respond to contact for a year. It was always them. So saying that, oh, I the ball's in my court is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. And the bottom line is, as I said, I have absolutely no plans. I'm moving back to Connecticut. I want to stay here. My life here is good. Everything here is better than it has been in the, you know, when I lived in Connecticut. And, you know, I'm doing my best to stay here, right? As much as I possibly can. I have to do everything I can to stay here. I have to bust my ass the next month to pay these taxes and stay here, all right? So please, let's stop living in the fucking past, okay? All right. Astro Jetboy did a 10-bit cheer. He says, any DSP tries it coming up soon? Not particularly. There hasn't been anything new at all recently for me to try on DSP tries. I've been keeping my eyes and ears open, and there's been nothing going on. And therefore, if there's nothing to try, there's nothing to record, right? Okay. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Everything's scrolling off the screen. What is going... Hold on. A ton of... What the hell? Alright. October did a 10-bit cheer. He says, I enjoyed your PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds stream yesterday. Looking forward to more gameplay. Critical for Days did a 10-bit cheer. He says, I meant the Metal Gear Solid goal. Like, for example, no backseat gaming, no hate. Callow Nord did a 10-bit cheer. Said, will you ever go back to Scarface? No. You're out of your mind. Gaitier? I can't even pronounce this guy's name. Holy crap. He did a 10-bit cheer. He says, you have no right to celebrate Christmas if you are an atheist. Okay. Sure. Astro Jetboy did a 10-bit cheer. Oh, I already read this. He said any DSP tries it coming soon, so I must have skipped a bunch of cheers. Kekken did a 10-bit cheer. He says, let's keep it chill now. The anger should be saved for this bad video game. The thing is, I'm not angry. I just hate that people literally... I've moved on from so much stuff that's happened in my life completely and utterly. Like, it's obvious when things obviously have been away for years, and then people bring stupid shit up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you an example. In 2 years from now, someone will bring up my ex-girlfriend, and I'll be like, are you fucking, like, just brain dead? Why are you bringing that up? You know? Because people, you know, they're so, I don't know. Some people live in this fantasy world where I guess it was the ideal state when everything was perfect and this was good and that was good. Things change, folks. They do, you know? They do. And you have to be an adult and realize that. You can't just keep harping on the past, you know? You got to move on. People have said that this year, 2017, has been one of the best gaming years I've ever done. So why do we want to go backward? We got to go forward from here, folks, not backward, okay? All right, we had a troll cheer, which I ignore. Very nice. Brits did another 50-bit cheer, again regarding the past, and I'm going to just ignore your cheers from now on if you're going to keep talking about it. I appreciate the cheer. I don't appreciate you keep harping on shit. And King of Hypocrisy bringing up the same shit again. So I'm going to ignore your cheer too. Good job. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I think it is now time to begin. What do you guys think? Is it time to begin with more PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? Good Lord. Good Lord. Again, can we actually focus on good stuff and not on negativity of the past? Dude, it's the holiday season, and all people can do is focus on the negativity of the past. Pretty ridiculous. So, Alrighty. Ooh. Another retard in the stream chat. Get rid of him. There you go. Alrighty. I think it's time. More PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I guess I'll start with a squad play and see how that works, huh? Again, I can't communicate, which sucks. You know, I wish that I had a microphone or there was a universal headset that worked with everything. There's not, okay? Alright, let's get started, folks. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. How will it go? We're about to find out. Oh, boy.